And so here we are at the South England Conference 62nd session. We're here at Warwick University. It's the close of the first day, and I've invited Dejan, because we're good friends, just to give a reflection. What has happened today? What's stuck in your mind that's made a difference?
I need to point out that the 62nd session of South England Conference is almost as exciting as General Conference or something like this. Today was a beautiful day. It is a good atmosphere. You can see people really looking forward to meet with each other, but at the same time, I think do some business. And so the highlight definitely is the presidential report, which took place this afternoon, and we heard some news what happened in the last 4 years from Sam Davis.
It was actually a very good report, wasn't it? It gave a comprehensive picture.
Yes.
What I liked most about it was Usain Bolt running a race, and then some guy just came struggling along behind with not an ounce of sweat on his brow.
That's right. Our president actually tried to replicate the speed and the direction, and it just did not go very well. Nevertheless, we did have a laugh, so that was good.
And it was a good report. The report is online. You can watch it on demand. What was really fascinating, though, was at the end of the report, he stood up and publicly said, "I've served 2 sessions. I believe presidents should only serve 2 sessions. I've got things that I want to do as a pastor that I cannot do as president." And he publicly made that statement, which I think, Dejan, that took a lot of pressure off the nominating committee.
Absolutely, because people who do have leadership positions, sometimes it's really hard to draw the line. And what is very impressive is the leadership is actually able to see and say, listen, 2 terms, 8 years is enough of me leading this church in this direction. And I was actually impressed that statement was made. And then after that, people stood up and clapped, not because they were glad to see him go. It was just simply, it was like, well done, having a minister, a leader who is able to say, it's time to pass on the baton to somebody else. Yeah.
Now you mentioned GC session.
Yes.
And you know, those comparisons do get made.
Yes.
I suppose the big comparison between San Antonio and here was that here we have got voting devices, electronic voting devices. We pressed the button.
And it worked. Actually did work. And it's called the power vote, which means if you have a low self-confidence, you can always pay 20 pounds for this. You can carry it for the rest of your life, and you'll be powerful because you have the power vote. If you want to vote yes, you press 1, and then wait for a little while. Is it working? It's not working.
Well, there's no vote on the board at the moment, but
that's right. Yeah, I'm keeping it. That's what
we have photos of it
Yes.
working. It has worked. It's been it must have been used 10 times this afternoon.
Yes, it was.
And it worked. So we're very proud about the fact that here in the South England Conference, first usage of electronic voting devices
actually works.
Been successful.
Yes.
Other things today?
Other things, registration went really well. We had about 600 delegates which arrived from all around South England Conference, and we all received the bags like this. I couldn't sleep how excited I was to receive one of these. So this is the bag, very, very cool. It says here, many words which I cannot read upside down. I'm sure it says Seventh Day Adventist Church somewhere. And inside, there are a couple of different, packages. You would see their package for pastors which need more help in any way.
And of course, once you've been here, we have Earl hiding behind the camera.
Yes.
Once you've been here in service, as long as Earl has, you will have at least 25 of these in your cupboard.
Yes. But nevertheless, they're collectibles.
They're souvenirs.
You can always
They're
sell
important.
them on eBay for some significant amount of money, and support your good habits, I want to say. Every bag had a couple of things, including iPad. Let me see what a magazine about VWs. This is not my bag.
This was not part of it. Moving on to more serious things. One of the big issues this afternoon was the word diversity.
Yes.
There are 15.75 budgets for people that are going to serve the SEC, from president through a whole series of different actions. And one of the new positions was a diversity coordinator. One of the big problems was everybody else had a job description.
Yes.
You look in the SEC book, there is no job description for a diversity coordinator. the reality is that all the delegates sitting there have no clue what the word diversity means.
I have not learned that word in School of English as well, so I had to look on the internet to find out what it means. The very interesting call about this was that some people came up and said, like, we don't need diversity call, we need actually somebody who is trying to bring these different ethnicities and different churches together instead of trying to focus on the differences or...
That was Katie Abukwe of the Ghanaian church.
Okay, yes.
And interestingly, although he's standing there as a Ghanaian, representing as a Ghanaian church delegate, the moment he mentioned his home church, there was kind of a roar of tension that had to be broken down. Afterwards, I was talking with someone and they said, you know, diversity is important, but unity is more important.
Yes.
And we come here from diverse places all around the world to be one here.
Yes.
I'm next to a Serb. We're one.
Yes, I am. I felt very similar that it is a role which I believe it should be served by every single member of Adventist Church. I believe that the diversity coordinator should not be something which is like just given to one person, but actually every single minister, every single elder serving in a role of bringing unity to the very diverse church, which I believe it's a blessing to South England Conference.
But within that as well, you know, the debate was also, and you know, one of the officers can come in here and grab my microphone, because there was some tension that you're putting a half budget into this new position of a diversity coordinator, you're dropping the evangelism director from a full budget to a half one. But then the theory is that everybody should be involved in mission, involved in evangelism. Even someone like yourself as a teen director is an evangelistic position.
Yes, I agree. But of course, having 600 people from all walks of life, it is really hard to come to consensus, or especially on budgets, because everybody believes that every department pretty much should have a full budget. And we know, especially having treasurer standing next to camera, that's not possible. So we will just go with what treasurer says at the moment. Yes, that's how I'll go. No.
So as we're closing down this evening, the recommendations committee is still meeting in a hall far over there. They're trying to get the nominating committee finished tonight, ideally voted tonight, but I suspect that'll happen first thing tomorrow morning. And so through tomorrow, you will then start to see reports come back from the nominating committee that will bring us a president, a secretary, a treasurer, and then start to work through the department directors. I think there was an important thing came from our keynote speaker this weekend.
Yes.
They haven't brought in somebody from America. That's what we normally expect, some bod from the GC, some highfalutin preacher. They've kept it local with a great guy, Pastor Brighton Cavola. He's now retired, but he stood up and he talked about 2 Corinthians 8 and verse 9. And all about the humility, becoming poor so that we can become rich in order to impart the word to others. And I think for me, that kind of message tonight, as things get into action, you know, sessions can become very political events, can become very heated events sometimes. But if we go in with that attitude, I can become poor in order to become rich, in order to serve the mission of the South England Conference, to tell people about Jesus.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for me personally, to bring this, it is a good beginning, and I feel exactly if we can follow in that spirit of Pastor Cavallo, I think this is going to be a beautiful session with a beautiful outcome, in which I truly do hope it is the outcome in which Holy Spirit leads, and where unity is what comes out. And Victor, absolutely good to see you and spend some time with you here as well.
It's good to be with you as well, Dejan.
Let me just point out, guys, for all of you who are missing this session, I went to kitchen today just to make sure, just to give you a short update. The food was potatoes, number 1, rice, number 2. It was some wrap as well, which actually wasn't bad.
No beans.
No beans. We do not eat beans and rice since we left the GC, so we would like to thank you for that.
So we're not at the GC session, we're at the South England Conference session. Tomorrow we'll bring you another report, we'll give you updates. They will be tweeted, they will be Facebooked, and they will be here on the live SEC media stream.
God bless
Thank you,
guys.
Dejan, for talking to us. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.